Spurgeon here with RevZilla, and in this video we're going to break down the new line of Shark Drak helmets available at RevZilla.com. So what you're going to see on the table is the newest update to the Drak. If you remember correctly, in 2013, Shark introduced the Shark Raw. That name was quickly changed to the Drak, and it has been a hit helmet for them ever since. What you're going to see on the table are three new versions. You're going to have the X-Drak on my right-hand side, you're going to have the Street Drak in the middle, and then you're going to have the S-Drak over here on the left, all of which are going to be built upon the platform of the original Drak. But really what we're going to focus on is the one right here in the middle, the Street Drak, because this is going to have the most similarities to the original Drak. Now, if you remember correctly, these are three-quarter helmets. This little chin bar piece down here is not for protection whatsoever. It's thermoplastic, and it's really just there to keep the elements off of your face. It's going to keep bugs from smashing into your teeth, and it's going to keep rain from pounding into your chin. Other than that, there is no protection to these whatsoever. From a fitment standpoint, they are going to be a round oval head shape, and what that means for you, they're going to be shorter front to back, a little bit more room on the side of the head, and these are going to work if you have a round oval noodle sitting on top of your shoulders. So what we're going to do is we're going to break down what you can expect from the differences from the original Drak, starting with the Street Drak in front of me. So the price is going to come in around the $260 mark for this helmet, and if you're looking at this lid, you're thinking, well, damn Spurge, that actually looks pretty much like the Drak that I know and love. And for the most part, it is. What you're going to notice as far as differences are concerned, you're going to have a little bit of additional venting in the face piece on this, the face mask, and the goggles have been redesigned. So what you're going to see is a little bit more of a frameless design to the goggles, so you have a better range of view, and the actual clasp has changed. So to get the goggles on and off, this is going to be a different design than what we've seen in the past. It makes it just a little bit easier if you want to detach the goggles. Now, the one thing to note here is that the chin bar on this can be removed, and you can use the goggles without the chin bar. It cannot be used in the additional direction. So what you can't do is you can't leave the chin bar on and take the goggles off, because the chin bar actually mounts into the goggles on this specific helmet. So keep in mind with that as well, that when you're using these goggles, they're not interchangeable with other goggles out there in the market. You have to use Shark goggles that are designed for the Drak helmet. So let's move over to the X-Drak. I'm going to get these names right. The X-Drak at this point. And really what we're seeing with the X-Drak is that this is more of a trials design. Now, where the Street Drak had a thermoplastic shell, we're now going to a fiber carbon composite shell. So this is a little bit of a stronger shell. You are going to have the removable peak. The one thing I'll note, this peak is on here pretty good. Like, to get it off, it's just a little bit more than what you'd expect from like a regular dirt bike helmet, but they are just going to be the snaps on the top of this. So if you wanted to, you could remove it, or if you want to keep that trial style, you can snap it back on. But while it comes off a little bit easier, getting it back on, that's where it's difficult. And you can see right there, it has a little bit of a force to snap it into place. So just keep that in mind as you're considering taking this off like I just did. It does require a little bit of muscle to get that back on there. Now, the main difference you're going to see here doesn't use goggles. There's a drop-down sun visor to this. It is a slight tint. So what they'll note is that this is not really designed for night use. And as of right now, they don't have a clear shield available for this. I would imagine they'd get one at some point. But if you wanted to use this helmet at night, you'd have to use it with a pair of clear safety glasses. Now, the difference here is that you can use the chin bar with this without having to use the glasses, because the chin bar actually mounts into the side of the helmet, and you can see it pulls out relatively easily right there. So if you wanted to use this as a regular three-quarter lid, you could do so. Now, this is the one we're going to take a look at the inside of, because the vent scheme on this is going to be the most vented out of all of them. There are going to be speaker pockets, and the cheek pads are going to just Velcro in. You're going to see there's cutouts for the speaker pockets on the back of this one. That's going to be right into the shell of the helmet, the EPS liner. And then with the top liner, you're going to have brow mounts that are going to mount to the exterior of the actual shell, so you're not going to have any undue pressure points to the front. And you'll notice the big cutouts in the EPS liner for the venting on this. And that's going to be because this is going to be the most vented, you're going to have these three main vent ports up top, which are going to have two sliders to open or close the vents on either side. So if you're looking for the most vented of the three new Draks, this is going to be your pick, the X-Drak with the mass amount of vents. So let's actually set this one to the side. We'll move this over to the middle of the table. And I'm just going to pull this stuff off because the final one we have is going to be the S-Drak rather. And with the S-Drak, what you're going to notice is this is now a full carbon fiber shell. You're not going to have any vents in this. So there's no ventilation other than the air that's coming through in the front. It's going to have the same design as far as the drop-down sun visor and the removable chin that you're going to see on the X-Drak, but you now have the carbon fiber shell. And while you do have snaps on the top of this, you can add that peak if you want to. You're not going to get that peak included. This is also going to be the most expensive of the new Draks. This is coming in at that $370 mark. And the biggest difference here, you have a carbon fiber shell and you have no vents. So looking at these on the table, really your too long didn't read takeaway is the Street Drak is pretty much just an updated version of the current Drak. Your X-Drak has got a little bit more trial style to it and has the most ventilation out of all the Draks. And then if you want carbon fiber bling, this is why you'd be looking at the S-Drak. So if you were big fans of the original Shark Raw, which became the Shark Drak, and now you want the newest updated version, any of the three on the table will mix and match to fulfill whatever specific need you are looking for out of a 3/4 lid that just has a little bit of a different style take to it. Now, if you're curious as to what helmet is right for you and your riding style and you're really just not sure, now is the time that you can pick up the phone and reach out to one of our gear geeks at 877-792-9455 and they can walk you through the process. If you don't want to give them a call, you can always shoot an email over to cs@RevZilla.com. I want to thank you for joining us for this look at the new Shark Drak helmets. I'm Spurge. Enjoy the ride.